Hey, welcome to PCMag Live. I'm Samara Lynn here with Sascha Segan, and we have a really cool show for you today. We will, as usual, talk about the trending top tech stories. We will answer a reader's question, and we will pull out our one cool thing from the lab to show you. And we're real excited because today's show is sponsored by Intel, and the all-new Intel Experience Store is coming to Nolita here in New York City. This is a unique, ever-changing environment that provides the opportunity to get your hands on all the latest Intel tablets and two-in-one PCs. So come in, grab a free cup of coffee, enjoy some local entertainment, and experience an exciting new way to shop for technology. And what's really nice is that Intel is giving back. You can recycle your old electronics to benefit local schools. So you can catch the Intel Experience Store at 262 Mott Street in Nolita. And for more information, just go to intel.com/stores. So let's get to the news. Sascha, AT&T's reducing prices for people without subsidized phones. Can you also just explain this subsidized versus unsubsidized phones too?
Well, first of all, competition. Competition works. Yay, competition. Okay. The deal is, when people think in the United States that, oh, I'm getting a phone for $99, I'm getting a phone for $199, that is nonsense, of course. What's happening is that the wireless carrier is paying $400 or whatever of the price of the phone in exchange for charging you a higher monthly rate every month. And after about 20 months, they make their money back. And that's why 2-year contracts. Okay, so the wireless carriers are making their money back over the course of the 2-year contract on this discounted phone. Now, T-Mobile, a little while ago, introduced this concept where if you don't get the discounted phone, you pay less per month, which makes sense because that's honest. And for a long time, AT&T and Verizon were just ignoring this fact. They were saying, okay, you can get the subsidized phone or you can pay full price, but you'll still pay the same price per month. And so AT&T and Verizon would make more per month on every customer who bought the phones at full price. But AT&T, because of the pressure from T-Mobile, is changing their tune, and if you buy your phone at full price, you will pay less per month now.
So what's going on with Verizon? Why are they not getting on board with this?
Well, Verizon, we'll see what Verizon does. I mean, they've said they're looking at this system and they're examining it and seeing how it's trending. Verizon has always sold themselves as a premium service, and there's always been less price pressure on Verizon than everyone else because they say our network is bulletproof. You come to us because of our network, and so dollars don't matter as much for Verizon customers. But I don't know. I mean, especially with Verizon admitting that they have network problems in New York and LA now, are they going to have to get down and dirty into the mud and start competing on price with Sprint, T-Mobile, and now AT&T?
It's a really competitive, hot space, and we're going to have to keep an eye on it. Wow, and I'm a Verizon customer, so I'm really going to keep an eye on it. So now, Bitcoins. We've been hearing all about Bitcoins. It's all the rage, and there's a trending story that China has restricted Bitcoin as a legitimate currency in its financial institutions.
Yeah, I mean, the first funny thing about this is that Chinese banks are actually considering using Bitcoin. Bitcoin is right now a massive instrument of speculation and gambling. It's not a functional currency, really, because its value fluctuates so quickly and so massively. Like, you can't really make a lot of investments based on a currency whose value, jumps in a 300% range in 6 months. But everything is so financially Wild West in China that the banks are looking to diversify out of the Chinese government-controlled currency, and the Chinese government just said, stop. Please stop. We want to control our currency. We are a country. We don't want you guys going into this crazy Wild West techno-utopia that we have no control over. I mean, for goodness sake, we're totalitarian,
Right.
But I think this says a lot just about how crazy the business atmosphere is in China more than anything else, because you don't see a lot of Western banks starting to operate Bitcoin yet, because we have more stable economic systems.
That's true, and also there's still some leeriness about regulation. I mean, it's not even used, I was reading that you can't even use it for political contributions because there's no way to monitor if it's coming from foreign lands or here in the U.S. So again, there's a lot of, implications and, a lot of things to deal with Bitcoin. So And now, speaking of politics, we were reading today that Obama is insistent on using a BlackBerry.
Yeah, well, it's not his choice. Okay, I wrote about this way back in 2008 when he was elected, that at the time, like most Americans, Obama was a crackberry addict. He had an 8830, and he said, I want to use my BlackBerry, and the government said no. And then there was a whole complicated thing where eventually Obama got to use his BlackBerry, but he could only call 10 people. And what this has to do is there's a very short list of smartphones that are approved by the Department of Defense for the most secure and top secret communications. And BlackBerry made it onto the list, but the iPhone has never been verified. But the DoD is starting to look at other phones. The DoD is still dominated by BlackBerries. They have, I think, 470,000 BlackBerries at the DoD. And they're, BlackBerry is dying, so they're starting to look at other phones. I think they recently approved the Samsung Galaxy S4 with Samsung Knox, but they haven't approved the iPhone yet. And Obama, pity him, he can only choose his smartphone from that very short list of top secret approved secure phones.
I'm sure it's quite the BlackBerry, though.
Yeah, I'm sure Obama has the nicest BlackBerry in America.
Absolutely. Anyway, that's it for our news. So let's get to our reader question. So the question here is from David. He's just as psyched about the Asus T100 as anybody else, but it's sold out everywhere. And he wants to know, Sasha, when will this device be back in stock?
Okay, the Asus T100 is this amazing new convertible tablet laptop from Asus, which costs $400 and runs real Windows. It's a full Windows tablet. It snaps into a keyboard. It's really just an incredible value for money. And because people have recognized that, it is sold out all over the place. I contacted Asus, and they said they are shipping new batches of these every 3 days, but they can barely keep up with demand. So I poked around, and I found, for instance, oh, there's a couple in stock at this Office Depot in Hoboken. So your best bet is just check every couple of days. They are shipping new products. And look especially at these office superstores, places where people wouldn't necessarily be the first place to go for a computer, where there may be one or two left, whereas people are just going on to the Best Buy and Newegg and CDW websites and snapping these up as often as they're showing up.
Is it one of those cases where people are buying them in bulk and then selling them on eBay or for some sort of profit?
I'm definitely seeing some resellers selling Asus T100s for $500. Instead of $500, $600, because it's supply and demand. This is capitalism. When there's a shortage of anything, there will be these secondary sellers.
Yeah, well, keep an eye out there, David. So let's get to our one cool thing of the day. And Sasha?
We got the GoldieBlox. This is looking to be the hottest geek toy of the holidays. This is a toy which looks like it's only for girls from all of the from all of the graphics, and what it is basically a pegboard where kids can set up this spinning machine. It's basically a belt drive like you would use for a turntable. And it's just to get kids interested in the basic principles of engineering. We haven't tried it out yet. I have a couple of kids who are going to try it out this weekend, and we'll do a real review, and I'll see if it has staying power. I mean, that's my major question with GoldieBlox is it does something very specific. It has these very specific parts, and is it open-ended enough for the kids to want to play with it for hours and hours?
That's right. And it is actually specifically, it is targeted for girls. Which I love that. To get girls more into hands-on. Yeah,
specifically to get girls into engineering. Yeah.
Can I have it after the kids this weekend?
Yeah, totally. No problem.
All right, cool. Great. Well, that's it for our show. Thanks a lot. And join us again tomorrow for PCMag Live. Have a great day.